And welcome in, everybody, once again back here to the Two Guys in Beer podcast studio. Andy Beckstrom, Shawn Field here for yet another episode of just talking about beer and enjoying it.
Whatever else. And these episodes just keep on coming. Maybe not to the viewers or listeners' delight, but to our delight.
Absolutely.
They just keep on coming.
Exactly. So, yeah, we want to thank everybody that's joined us now on the YouTube video portion of the stream as well. Been doing that here for the last handful of episodes. We enjoy some of the feedback that we've been able to get a little bit, and even some of the texts or some of the messages that we get, some of the harassment and the teasing. I'm not wearing the pajama pants again today. Like, I got jeans on.
Looking pretty good over there.
I got the face for radio. That's my background. So, I don't, not quite ready for the on camera. I actually made that comment earlier tonight. I grabbed a sweatshirt. I'm like, do you think this looks okay on camera? You think this will be okay? I'm like, why am I talking like this now all of a sudden? But, you got to try to, do what you can. I think as long as I'm not wearing green, I think I'll be all right.
Right. We don't want to blend into the facade back here.
Yeah, it's really nice brick wall.
It is.
I really like this. Yes. I want to thank the construction done by our tech guy.
It's a great company.
Does a great job. It's fantastic, top notch. Love it. So, yet again, back here we are in the studio, and Shawn, back for more brew.
Another beer. You can't go wrong with another beer. Off Color Brewing. Mm-hmm. This is what you got for us this time.
So Off Color Brewing is out of Chicago. We'll get a little deeper into all of the details with that. The beer that we have today is beer for ball games. A couple of mice on there playing baseball, but that's kind of their bit is like everything has got kind of a literal name for it.
Sure.
And so we'll talk a little bit more about some of those names and what all that means. But the one that we have right now is the beer for ball games. It's an American style cream ale, 4.2 alcohol by volume. So not the heaviest that we've had,
Yep.
Still going to be pretty good.
It's no Tragan's milk.
Yep. Absolutely. It doesn't quite got that same level of steam, but that's totally fine. That's, it's good.
But this is a good choice that you picked out. Beer for ball games. Well, because, baseball has just started. So what a better beer to crack open and try out on the podcast for the baseball season to start.
Absolutely. It's a fantastic thing. So we'll dive into that and we'll talk. Maybe we'll even talk a little bit of baseball later on today. We'll see what happens. If we don't today, I'm sure we will in the future. It's on our minds. That's for sure. Well, sort of, until the Twins keep losing again.
Yeah.
But that's a whole different podcast.
We don't even have enough to do one podcast on that. It would be several podcasts.
Exactly. That would be quite the long series of information. And maybe you need some, what do they call it? The wreck-it rooms, the destroy rooms or whatever. You just like swing baseball bats at TVs or something. Like
we need one of those for every Minnesota sport. In fact, you know what we should do? In southern Minnesota, you can actually drive a tank. And when you're driving a tank to this course, if you want to pony up an extra $500, they'll put a car out there for you can crush. And we could write all our sports names on this car and just take the tank right over. That might be a live episode.
I was going to say that could be quite entertaining. That almost makes me kind of think. I was actually looking at some of our online content the other day or whatever, and reminded me of one of the reels that we had where you could not buy the vehicle, but pay to have your ex's name on a vehicle that's going to the crusher.
Get it crushed.
And something like that. So I'd same kind of bit, $500 might be worth it to be able to do it. If you're paying to be able to drive a tank around,
right?
Why not? That sounds kind of fun.
Two guys in beer, drive tank.
I love it. I like where this is headed. It's all not all the best ideas come out before or after the beer. Sometimes they are before as well. Usually the best ideas are after, but.
Well, the best stories are not told over water. So.
This is true. So I was having this really good salad the other day and washed it down with some Evian.
Let me tell you this.
Absolutely just phenomenal times and great stories, of course. Anyway.
Let's get to the good stuff.
Yeah, get to the good stuff here. As I mentioned before, it is a American style cream ale. The 4.2 row malt, caramel malt, dextrin malt, flaked corn, and flaked barley. The hops are Nugget, Willamette, and Cascade. So a couple of different options that are on there. It does say on the label it is kind of almost like a session, but it's an American style cream ale. So might be kind of an interesting flavor with that. But
I like the can. It's just white.
Yeah.
I don't understand the mice playing baseball on the can.
Well,
The beer for ball games, but I do like how it's done. It looks like I drew it on the back of my math notebook in high school, which is pretty nice style art.
We'll get a little into the mice actually kind of tie in.
Okay,
it's kind of a mascot in a way for them. So before we get too deep into it,
better crack it open.
Best part of the episode.
All right.
Whoop, almost dropped off of it there.
Oh.
Got to make sure I open it right. Oh, there we go. That's the good stuff. We're going to use pint glasses this time, so even an extra sound effect.
I did a terrible job pouring that. I know better than that. What do you do, though?
Yeah, well,
I'm not perfect.
You got to have a little bit.
I'm not a former bartender.
Yeah, you need to have a little bit of head on that, kind of on the top.
There's a lot of head on this one.
Yeah, yours is yours is aggressive.
A little too much head.
Oh my goodness, we may have to edit that one for contact. Keynote right here, tech guy. Can we? I don't know how we would do that, but I'm sure we could get something in there.
Cut it out.
Right.
Full house.
Exactly.
All right.
All right. So first couple days. It is smooth.
It is smooth. It's pretty tasty too. It took me like 4 gulps to get through the head on here to get the actual beer.
Right.
I do like it. It's a pretty nice taste. It's almost.
I do kind of taste the a little bit of the caramel and a little bit of that dextrin. Like I get
it's a little sweet,
creamy. Yeah,
it's a little sweet.
Definitely get some of that out of there. So it's aptly described, but that's kind of how you come up with the description is actually doing it right. So yeah, it's pretty good stuff. A little sweetness, but
you can taste.
It's quite
you can
solid.
tell it's a cream ale. It seems like it's a lighter cream ale, not a heavy dark cream ale. Yeah, it's got like a little sweet type flavor to it. Caramel, little caramel in there.
This would, on the old lawnmower rating, this would be definitely a before, during, and maybe one after while admiring the work.
It sure would.
Not quite a Coors Light, but it's, it's got some good flavor to it, but it's not going to blow you away. At a 4.2, you could have a 6-pack.
You could slam some and be just fine.
Absolutely. So it'd be pretty good. So let's kind of dive in here with what we know about off-color brewery. So that's what the brewery is off-color brewery. Some of the basics here, Off-Color Brewery is a American craft brewery. It's in the Logan Square neighborhood of Chicago, kind of by the Lincoln Park area. Began in early 2013 with a partnership between John Laffler and Dave Blankner. John Laffler, formerly of Goose Island Brewing, which is obviously a massive, big distributorship.
Yep, they're big.
That's kind of a major thing. So 2 guys, long history of being involved in a lot of high-end type of stuff. It actually even says like on their website, the About Us, I got a couple of different research notes here, but John and Dave, let's see, at some point John and Dave were born.
Well, that's here. Key. Yep. That is key.
They did other stuff for a while, and then they figured out they were better at making beer than the other stuff. So that's what they do now. They both met while they studied at the oldest and most respective brewing school of the 2. And by the breweries that went in on to the one. In the U.S., the Seibel Institute is what it is.
Okay.
So it's quite the description.
I love
that they
their
have
description there.
Absolutely.
We did stuff. We thought, well, we're good at brewing, so we did that instead.
A brewery was envisioned while they both interned at Metropolitan Brewing. Most of Off-Color's business plan is based off of Doug and Tracy at Metro, knowing what they're doing, so go buy some of their beer too. That's what it says. After cutting their teeth at a larger brewery, the 2 somehow convinced otherwise very smart people to invest enough money for them to make their own beer. So that's what they do now. So
I love it.
It's quite the interesting thing. So I think it's quite fun. The way they have their thing described here. If you go onto their website, you can look at the beers, the current, the seasonal, the Foeder aged, Foedre, aged beers, also in some bourbon barrels. They got different categories that talk about the wholesale where they distribute and things like that. Their tap room does show a bunch of information about their particular facility. They do not have food, but they are open for all sorts of different beer and whatnot. They have 16 brews, and they have I believe 4 of those taps are guest beers. So potentially you could go in there and get a Goose Island or a Metropolitan or something like that.
Sure.
So
Well, that's kind of neat.
a lot of interesting things that they can be able to do that. 150 seats, and it's kind of tucked away south of Sheffield and North Avenues. I'm not familiar with Chicago, but those of you that are, sounds like a great place.
I've been to Chicago a lot, but not this area, I don't believe. I pretty much stay on Michigan Avenue half a dozen times I've been there, and then we went to the White Sox.
I was going to say, that was the one time we kind of came blitzing in on 94, went to a game, blitzed out on 94 to like Indiana or something to be able to stay, and then back to the stadium, and then back home.
Yeah, that was a quick trip.
36 hours or something like that? I don't know.
Yeah.
They do not serve food, but they do have a good relationship with the pizzeria that's around the corner, Thin Crust Specialists. Good food that's right there. You can bring in your own food.
I want to go try that place.
Lots
of crust. I like Thin Crust pizza. That's my favorite.
100%.
That's a perfect thing to have right next to a brewery.
Oh my God, yeah, I love it. Off Color founder John Lafler has also brought on Ben Fasman, and they do in-house cocktails as well. So it's not just beer. They do also in-house craft cocktails and wine by the glass.
So Ben is the cocktail guy.
Ben is the cocktail guy.
All right.
Yep.
Does he do the wine too? Is that what that says?
It just says wine by the glass. I mean, that might be, just kind of something you can get separately.
Sure.
So the mouse that you have on there, if you look at the pictures they have online, the mouse is prevalent pretty much everywhere. And their tap room is called the Mousetrap.
Gotcha.
The grain mouse is the tap room's mascot, and customers will see references all around the space in their location. So kind of a cool thing that they have there. They got a nice big tap room, as I mentioned, 150 seats, kind of a industrial feel, a lot of brick, plenty of tables, plenty of places to be able to sit and be able to hang out. Bars way in the back, be able to get some stuff. Again, you can bring in your own food. A lot of, really cool stuff that they got going on there. I think it'd be a lot of fun to be able to be a part of that and be able to kind of check it out. Talking a little bit more about some of the things that they have, go back to their other situation here and their current beers. We talked a little bit about what it's called. Some of the beers is the Apex Predator. That's a farmhouse ale. The April Rain, beer for golf, beer for lounging, beer for tacos, crispy beer for pizza.
What's that? It's a nice theme.
Beer for the top shelf, which has got a little mouse with a goalie thing. That one is a Vienna style lager with maple syrup added. So,
all right.
I'm liking all of this.
I'm not opposed.
So they got, the mouse is kind of in a lot of different things with that or whatever. So I think it's kind of a fun little place to be able to go and check out and be able to see some of that. So one more thing. So with the brewery itself, so the modus operandi is what they worded here, but basically the gist of what they do is they began operation to focus on brewing forgotten styles of beer.
Okay.
So some of it, like a lot of it is going to be kind of like German style beers, because that's more of where a lot of the history of beer kind of comes from, and not originated, but, kind of in that era. But that's where a lot of different styles of beer were forgotten after I'm not going to be able to pronounce this, but I'm going to give it my best shot. The REINHEITSGEBOT, German word, Reinheitsgebot. Probably butchered that, but I do my best here. It was the Bavarian Purity Law.
Bavaria, that's where we're going.
And it was proclaimed in the late 15th century, effectively condemning a myriad of different styles of beer that were not made solely with barley, water, and hops. So they were trying to purify the thing. So kind of literally the pronunciation of, or the word, the literal translation is purity order. Okay. That's what it means. And that's what it was. It limited the ingredients to just those things. And it states the former Holy Roman Empire had a lot to do with that. And it was adopted by Bavaria in 1516, kind of similar regulations, all throughout the area. So it kind of got rid of a lot of variety, I guess, to a certain extent, trying to be able to just finely tune that, which, I get the idea of that, not getting too far out on the haggard edges, but at the same time, like, let the market kind of dictate some of that. But it's 15, 16. So, what are you going to do?
What are you going to do back then? Yeah.
Exactly. So that definitely had a massive change. So, a little bit of history lesson there. It's kind of going in the Wayback Machine, 15, 16. It really changed a lot of what the variety and diversity was in beer in the Germany area and kind of through that whole region. So these guys are trying to bring back as many of those beers as possible.
Well, this is definitely a good one to bring back.
Absolutely. This is a really solid beer. I like this a lot.
Yeah, this is pretty good. If this is one from Germany, they're bringing it back. It does say American style cream ale on the can. I don't know if that's a German beer they're bringing back since it's American style cream ale. But no, this beer is really solid. It's really good. If anybody is close to a liquor store and you're looking for some, if you can find this beer, buy it and try it. Definitely for sure.
Yeah, it's we got it at a place that I've frequented multiple times, the Dabbler Depot. It's kind of on West 7th down in St. Paul, just off of 35. So not far off of 35 where it kind of cuts through by that, what used to be a Burger King.
Sure.
Now it's just a building that looks like a Burger King is all it really is. But yeah, so we found it there. It's actually one of our favorite places to be able to go because they have such a variety of different things that they sell there. We're able to find all sorts of unique, different types of beers. They have bourbons. They have all sorts of different cocktails and stuff like that. And they'll let you try basically anything. So it's a fantastic place to be able to go.
Better.
I highly recommend being able to go there. And actually, this beer and a beer that we have for a future podcast was recommended by a gentleman that was working there that also is a part owner in one of the breweries that we're going to be doing at some point in time.
Perfect.
So it's that community. They're all together.
They are all together.
So it's a kind of a fun kind of thing to be able to check out all sorts of different varieties and a really nice place to be able to go. They got all sorts of different variety of stuff there. And you can get it by the can. You can get 4-packs. You can get bigger packs. You can taste stuff, It's a pretty cool place.
Sure.
I highly recommend it. We're not even getting sponsored by them. If they would like to, check us out on love to be able to have something like that. It'd be fantastic. If nothing else, maybe a discount on the beer that we buy.
That would be nice.
There we go. We can get it at cost or something, maybe a hat or something.
Sell it at cost. Yeah, that'd be perfect.
So kind of the background a little bit more information on this particular beer. Again, beer for ball games. The tasting notes and secret techniques, this is where you start getting into the information about the specific beer and what they did, even though it is the American style. As one of the first styles of beer actually conceived in the United States, our cream ale is designed to make America's pastime proud by only using American-produced malt and corn with classical American hops. We even use the best American water, and they apologize to Fiji. So
the best American water. I wonder where that water comes from.
Right, exactly. It's definitely not in Flint, Michigan.
No,
definitely not. No, for sure. So that's kind of what we got here. It's a light-bodied but flavorful brew. Watching 9 innings from the bleacher section. American style cream features a light malt character with the flavors of cornflake cereal, which I can kind of get. You
can taste that a little bit for sure.
A light hop aroma contributes to nuanced floral, pepper, and grapefruit rind notes. Bread notes from the yeast left in the beer rounds out the mouthfeel. So says
good in the mouth.
Yeah, exactly. So says what we got here. So
they definitely hit the nail on the head with the name, though. Beer for ball games.
Absolutely.
This would be great to drink watching a ball game, whether it be the Twins, unfortunately, the Yankees, or the Bram Snappers.
There we go.
You want to watch Andy try to get on base.
Exactly. It happens, once or twice a year. That's about it. So don't be asking too much for me here.
This is definitely a beer you would drink watching a ball game. It's light bodied.
Absolutely.
Not gonna blow your hair back. You can have a few of them there. Oh man. Yeah, this is good beer.
As we mentioned, the ABV at a 4.2, so it's good flavor, but it's not going to knock you away. After 2 of them, IBUs are 18, which isn't surprising. It's not real bitter. It's not overly hoppy. It's, just a nice, smooth, solid beer. So I don't know. I like it a lot. And I think it's quite fantastic. So,
super good.
Yeah, that's kind of what that we got for that. But yeah, definitely go check them out. They do have their website, offcolorbrewing.com. All sorts of information that they have on there. They go over the types of beer that they have, information about their tap room, hours, location, the general type of stuff. But yeah, they get a lot of different articles that were out there to be able to kind of research through and Wikipedia even has a thing on them too.
Oh, sure.
So, they do have quite a bit of information out there. So a lot of good information. It's kind of a cool place. Wikipedia puts them at 11 employees is what that puts them at. So they do have some pretty good sized fermenters and everything that they got in there, which is kind of cool to be able to see some of the pictures that they got. So
you can definitely tell the owners that started this, their background in beering at other places. You can definitely tell this is a super high quality beer for
Absolutely.
sure when you drink this.
Yep. It's not, they didn't just, it's fine. They actually, they put some effort into what this is.
It's definitely good beer. Again, I've already said it 6 times. If you can get this, go buy it and try it. You'll thank us later.
Absolutely.
You can thank us by buying a hat.
There we go. Yeah, we do have, if you follow us on any social media, we do have the hat out there, for sale. We got some options there. Try to be able to get maybe even some other swag out there at some point in time. But if you're looking for anything, definitely reach out to us. You can check us out on all the social media platforms that we got something on, TikTok and
every one of them. We're
Instagram
on
and
Twitter, Facebook,
TwitX, whatever.
Oh, that's right, X.
Yeah,
I still don't call it X, but
right, exactly.
Whatever.
Yeah, Facebook. You got it. Just have it. Or if you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and just drop us a line.
YouTube,
right there. Like, share, subscribe, like all of the things right now. But definitely tell everybody about it and pass the information along. But I do highly recommend going and checking this brewery out if you're in that area, or if you're headed to that area, or if you're not in that area. It's one of the things to kind of look out for. It's a nice white can, so kind of easy to be able to find. Look for the little mice. That's going to be your key to be able to find a brewery that has this type of stuff for it. So, yeah, I highly recommend it. Off Color Brewing out of Chicago, Illinois.
Perfect. Yeah, definitely get some more of this.
100%. Well, that's about most of what I got here for the brewery. We'll keep working on this. Shawn, what do you got for some information for this time? So
I come across some articles because I read stuff all the time, whether or not that's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know. I just come across funny stuff. So this is kind of ridiculous. This is kind of government overreach. This isn't going to be a political talk because we're going to talk about the UK and London. But when you hear what I got to say, it's kind of crazy. And we'll see, get your reaction to this. Like, I think all the viewers out there or listeners would understand how ridiculous this is. There's a comedian over there. His name is Ed Gamble. Never heard of him. He's a stand-up comedian.
I know the guy. Yeah.
So I'm not sure if he's just a European comedian and touring over there, but nonetheless, Ed Gamble, the stand-up comedian, is currently touring over in the UK. And over in the UK, he's got his poster. He's promoting his tour, like bands do and acts do. Yep. So they got your poster plastered throughout the city.
Got to have advertising
with the dates on there.
We're gonna start putting those up for the two guys.
Two guys and beer
just
tour.
QR codes all over the place. That's all it's going to be.
Well, we have some slapped in Central Park and over in the subway in New York.
There we go.
If they're still there.
Yeah, I sure hope so. We should probably go check that out.
They are slapped up. So this guy, Ed Gamble, stand-up comedian, he's on tour over there. He's calling his tour Hot Diggity Dog.
Hot Diggity Dog.
So that's the name of his comedy tour over there.
I like it.
In the UK and London. So specifically in the subway, they have some of his posters there on the walls promoting his Hot Diggity Dog tour. However, the interesting part about that is the transit authority over there doesn't like that.
Oh, man. Not the transit authority.
If you want to call it, over in the Bakerloo line platform, there's an underground subway station over there in London. They have this policy that they come up with in 2019 where they can't advertise fatty foods and sugar and non-healthy eating and things like that.
Is this kind of like Minneapolis passing a thing where you can't build a new building that has a drive-through? Something
similar to that.
Some ridiculousness.
Supposedly to make people healthy or something. Right. So in 2019, over in London, on the subway, their transit authority, whatever their agency is, they won't advertise any of that stuff. Sugary foods, fatty foods, this and that. So the Hot Diggity Dog tour on his poster, it's Mr. Gamble there he's got ketchup and mustard plastered all over his face, running down his shirt, and he's standing next to a hot dog.
Oh, there you go.
Of course.
Hot diggity dog.
Hot diggity dog. So his hot dog, his half-eaten hot dog on this plate on this poster.
Who doesn't like hot dogs? Hot dogs are good for you, aren't they?
Oh, they're so good. I don't care if they're good for
Absolutely.
me. A real natural casing hot dog. So
the
bite
crunch.
it, just snaps, and it just juice flies on your face when you snap it,
Absolutely.
Oh, it's so good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, old-fashioned style.
Oh,
Chicago style. While you're drinking beer for ball game beer, get yourself a Chicago style hot dog. Maybe Mr. Gamble has them at his shows.
Maybe.
It's part of the entree.
You might not ever know it, though, because
you won't get to see it on their subways or their buses. The whole bus authority, they can't have that. So he was forced to take them down, and they weren't allowed to put them up, so he replaced the hot dog with a cucumber. And then they allowed this posters up.
then it's okay. Then it's okay.
It's okay.
All right. Yeah, fair enough.
How ridiculous is that? Like, seriously, don't you think that's a bit of an overreach?
It's a little. It's really it's silliness is really what it is. I mean, I know that to a certain extent, if you're going to have a policy, you got to draw a line somewhere. But when you make it kind of like vague in a way, you kind of allow like some person somewhere to kind of go a little outside of what the spirit of whatever you're trying to do is. That didn't really think of like the consequences of really, is this really, like, I get if you don't want to have like, all right, kids eating cotton candy and got crap all over the place, probably not the best for them or whatever it may be, sugary cereals or something like that. I don't really know.
It's just stupid.
Hot dogs are good. Maybe they're not good for you. I guess I don't really know, but I can't believe that like a old fashioned good snap got to be pretty good for you. I would think.
You would think. Right. All natural. Isn't that what they promote in Europe? They ban food over there that we can apparently eat here,
Right. Some of the food that we eat here, I don't know.
We don't even eat food here. All we eat is chemical and whatever they slap into the boxes,
Processed, slapped together.
Yeah. But I just thought that was crazy and absolutely ridiculous. I just had to talk about that. I'm like, seriously, you're banning a photo of a hot dog in your subway because you don't want to promote unhealthy food and fattening food and salty food. Like, really? I don't think people riding the subway or riding the city bus in London are going to look at a poster of Hot Diggity Dog comedy tour and think, dang, I need to get me some hot dogs.
I could really go for a hot dog. I mean, it probably might, though. I mean, it does kind of make sense because now that you're talking about it, I kind of want a hot dog.
I kind of want a hot dog right now, too.
Go to Quick Trip or something, get a roller dog.
Especially with this beer. Like,
absolutely.
Dude, natural cased, real hot dog will go super good with beer before ball games here, beer.
Absolutely.
Can you imagine?
Like
you put some mustard on it and some hot peppers on there. Oh, my gosh.
You're sitting out at late July and from Chicago, so maybe we're out at Wrigley or something like that because White Sox Stadium kind of sucks.
Yeah, agreed.
But you get yourself kind of out in some bleachers where there's not a whole lot of people, and you get kind of like spread out to a couple of different chairs, feet over the front side, this beer and a hot dog in the other hand.
That would be perfect.
Like, describe a better situation for me because I'm not coming up with a whole lot right now. And
I just can't.
From your standpoint, like watching the old Bram Snappers or whatever, like head out to a Brennan Field in Hinckley. They had a really nice ballpark there, get a nice hot dog, and they sell beer there too. Maybe I'll try to get them to have this there. Sit back there and watch some. Oh my God, the league playoffs up there, be able to just sit back and relax and have a beer and a hot dog and heckle guys that are your same age playing baseball still.
We might have to get a hold of these guys. We could be distributors for beer for ball games, advertise it at the Bram Snappers and stuff.
Absolutely. That'd be fantastic.
If you still play beer league softball this year, you can bring some of this and be like, here, boys.
There we go. Yeah. I think it'd go over pretty good. Although a lot of them are drinking like seltzers and stuff now because, you got to be athletic when you're playing beer league softball.
What the hell?
Got to be athletic. I know. I don't know what's going on. It's a little bit different, but whatever. I don't know. I've had a couple of them recently or whatever, and I woke up with less of a hangover.
I can't do seltzers. No, I like beer. I like flavor and taste.
Yeah,
if I wanted to drink bubbly water, I would go buy a bubbly or something.
It is a much more preferable type of deal for sure. But
so back to this in 2019, they enacted this stuff. They also banned any advertisements that promote unhealthy and unrealistic body shapes too, to go along with their fat and sugar food ban.
I can think of at least like 4 or 5 different BBC TV shows that promote unhealthy and not normal body types.
I think Sports Illustrated promotes that.
Exactly.
We've seen that in recent years.
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh, it's just crazy. But anyways, the London Transit Authority, whatever you want to call them, UK, you guys are crazy, man. Like, that's just absolutely ridiculous.
Right.
That is just...
That's some silliness.
That's beyond control. That's...
I love
overreach.
I do love the response though for him to like come out with a cucumber.
Put a cucumber on there, yeah. So we might have to check out Ed Gamble, see if he's got a Netflix special or something.
He seems like he's got some good stuff going on. If he's got that type of humor, like to be able to roll with those proverbial punches, that's for sure.
Yeah, that would be great. So one other story, I'll get to it here real quick. So I was reading about this too, and I thought this was kind of funny. It'd be fun to share with people. So there was a couple. They were in their bedroom, the husband and wife were in a bedroom, and the husband had told his wife a joke. And of course, the joke was obviously funny because the husband told the joke.
Right.
Anytime a husband tells a joke, wives out there, it's just funny.
Yeah. Guys are hilarious.
we
got the best humor.
But so when the husband was telling this joke, interesting enough, apparently there was a burglar in their house.
Burgling. Oh, man.
Up in the roof. He was burgling inside the roof, apparently, crawling around in the eaves the attic.
It's no good getting burgled.
Well, this joke was so good that this burglar apparently heard the joke and busted out laughing.
Of course he did. Naturally. Why wouldn't you?
So the husband and wife were like, what the hell is going on? They hear somebody laughing up in their attic.
That would probably be kind of... Wait, what? What's good? What?
They call the cops. Of course, the cops come and arrest him. No harm, no foul. He didn't steal anything. He didn't break anything. But of course, I'd assume he got in trouble because he broke into their house with them in there.
Right.
But that's how they got him.
I want to know what the joke is now. Can you imagine like that? Okay, sir, describe for me exactly what happened here. So I'm telling this joke, right? And I hear the guy laughing in the attic. Sir, what was the joke?
So the article I read, everybody wanted to know what the joke was.
Absolutely.
In there, nobody had a clue.
Sad thing is it probably was like this much buildup. It's probably just going to be like a dumb knock-knock joke or something.
Yeah, probably.
Like some ridiculousness or whatever. But I kind of want to know what the joke was.
I do too. Everybody wanted to know, but no fear. I came prepared with a dad joke for you.
Oh, here we go.
Yes. It's very well could have been the joke. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
Dad Jokes 101 on Two Guys and Beer podcast.
There we go.
First joke ever.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you call a paper airplane that can't fly?
A problem.
Stationary.
Oh.
Come on.
It took a second before that one really keyed in.
It takes
I like that.
Dad Jokes 101.
That is a good one. That is
TG and beer jokes. Here we go. Get the Two Guys and Beer joke book.
Oh, that one. Yeah, that one. It took a second to be able to hit, but I always like that moment where it's like kind of like, oh, you can see like in their face, And
when I read it too, it took me a minute, and I'm like, that is freaking. Dude, I laughed so hard in the kitchen. My daughter came home. I had to rush upstairs to tell her right away. I'm like, hey, Aurora, I got a dad joke for you. And I told her, she's like, what? Like, get it? Stationary? She's like, oh my gosh. Like, dad jokes 101.
It's kind of a slow burner, but not too slow. Maybe I'm slow. That's probably what it is. I don't know, but that's a good one.
Yeah,
I like that.
You can't blame it on the beer for ball games beer yet because it's only 4.2. But
no, I'm likely going to tell that joke tomorrow at work.
Yes,
100%.
I'm going to tell my wife when we get done with this episode and show her.
Absolutely, yeah. 100%.
Show her. I'm going to tell her. I don't have anything to show her, but
I'm
going to tell her.
There you go. So we got the beer for ball games. So
yes, we do.
Now that I see this, and I had a moment here, and my brain is wandering off into I gotta not really vent about something, but come on, what are we doing here? Can we just talk for a minute about in reference to baseball? I've seen this now a handful of times. It happens every year. There's something happens. This guy pimp walked out of the box after he hit a bomb, or this guy was eyeballing the second baseman, or like whatever dumb thing it is.
The stare downs, the little,
which whatever. It is what it is. I don't necessarily, it's not my kind of thing, but whatever, you do you. You know what I mean? It goes back to when Ken Griffey Jr. like, oh my God, he's wearing his hat backwards. Are you kidding me? You know, like I don't, whatever. That's fine. Like there's stuff like that.
Who
happens.
else did that in the home run derby? Was it McGuire or Dante Bichette turned his batting helmet around and turned it backwards?
Yeah,
Who was pitching?
I know that.
Was it Randy Johnson?
Randy Johnson did it in the All-Star game. It was Lance Walker.
Oh, okay.
Is who it was.
Yes.
And that was because, I think it was because the year before, John Kruk had one of those 98-mile-an-hour heaters that didn't slide and came winging right past his noggin. And Johnson the next year jokingly threw one up around that area again, and so then he like put his helmet on backwards and went to the other
John
side.
Kruk. I love that guy. We need more John Kruks in baseball.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That guy seems like a good beer drinking guy.
I like the John Daly. John Kruk.
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
Yeah.
So you got
back
the
to your thought.
situation.
Sorry, I was taking us off the rails there.
That's kind of what happens during the Two Guys in Beer podcast. That you just kind of wander wherever the conversation takes us. So that's not so much that bothers me. But then you get the reaction of, well, now my job is to drill this guy with a pitch and really show him.
Right.
Which is another part of baseball. I get it. It's totally fine. You got to make sure that you don't get around the head. You know what I mean? Let's not injure people. Let's not do that. But if you want to put one in the small of their back, whatever. I don't have a problem with that.
Rip.
Do it. You know what I mean? But the overreaction that happens after that, not so much the fighting, whatever. I can eye roll about that all I want. But why in the world does everybody that's wearing a uniform need to trot their happy ass out there to be able to like stand there?
Moral support?
Like the backup bullpen catcher from 400 feet away on the second level, who's probably out there with the comedian getting a hot dog.
Right.
He's now got to try. Nope, sorry, got to go. And he's got to like trot out there with his gear on and like the slow walk all the way in there. And like, why do we need to have that? Like, and I there was something that happened, was that like last year, 2 years ago, that there was a guy that got hit, and of course everybody cleared the benches, and there was one guy that like sat on the bench. He's like, no, this is dumb. I'm not going out there. This is stupid. He shouldn't have gone out there to try to fight. None of this should have happened. This is stupid. I'm with that guy. But apparently like they like tried to suspend him and kick him off the team or like do something like that because they're like, oh, he's not a good teammate.
Kick him off the team because he refused to run out there?
What is he going to do? What's going to happen is the guy's going to go out there and he's going to try to fight. Maybe you're going to get 2 or 3 people that actually start throwing punches. Sometimes you get a little bit bigger than that, but usually only a couple people, and then everybody's just holding each other is all they're doing. It's
pretty
not
much
hockey
just like
fight
they're
kind
grappling and like jumping on top of each other like a big pile.
They're just not really doing anything. You're kind of like holding each other, kind of like a, well, I don't want to fight. Do you want to fight? I don't really want to fight.
Right.
Let's just kind of watch those guys.
And nobody makes a move until somebody comes from behind them and holds them. Then they're all like, oh, yeah.
Exactly. Then they got to try, I'm going to get you. And then all of a sudden, like, there's 2 or 3 people that are kicked out of the game. And like, I don't want to get kicked out of a game. Like, I want to keep playing. Like,
right.
That's not part of the thing. So I hate the idea that like, oh, that's a bad teammate. It's like, no, he wanted to stay in the game and you're being stupid. Like, why can't that be a good teammate saying, no, you're dumb?
Right.
And even if it is the benches that got to clear, whatever. But can we stop getting like the relief pitcher coming in, like I said, from like 400 feet away? By the time he gets there, they've already like carted 3 people off and there's nothing happening. And now you got to wait for everybody to come walking back and head out there or whatever. Although I will say, this type of situation did create one of the best stories that I was not a part of, but I'm retelling it as Nick's story. So,
okay.
Nick Cole, credit goes to you. This isn't my story, but it's a great story nonetheless. Something happened in the Twins game. This is old Metrodome type of thing.
Ooh.
And I hope that some of our listeners know the name. This is kind of an older name I'm going to toss out at you, but it was at the end of his career. And this guy's like 45 years old, big old gray beard, whatever. Something happens. Everybody's got to go running out there, and everybody starts trotting back after the brouhaha calms down. Everybody's trotting back there, whatever, walking back to their respective bullpens, like the bullpen that they had in the Metrodome. That was more of just like out in the middle of the field, and you got this
on the playing field.
You got this poor bat boy that's trying to stand behind the catcher and hope he doesn't get drilled from behind, and he's going to take rockets right at him off the third baseline. So they're trotting back there or whatever, and Terry Mulholland is a part of this group that's trotting back there. And so, Nick or one of the buddies, a couple of them there out in the old third baseline seats, the left field seats in foul territory. Terry, we love you. And he turns around and goes, hey. So, I mean, it kind of does create the opportunity for things like that where they're kind of not in their normal dialed in thing.
Right, a little bit of interaction.
But I do think it's just ridiculous every time. Whatever. I'm also kind of if they want to fight in hockey, then fight. You know what I mean? Give them the penalties, but I don't have a problem with that. I think that there is a place to a certain extent of trying to protect star players. I don't think that they do it quite as much anymore, but I kind of get the bit. I get why it happens. And I'm fine accepting if they don't want to do it anymore. That's not a problem. I'm not saying it has to happen, but I get it. I don't have a problem with it or whatever. But the baseball thing, if you're coming in at a half trot,
galloping in,
it's not like you're coming I got your back, bro. I'm right here for you.
Like the wieners that are running around in the hot dog races.
Exactly. Yeah. This is not. They're running slower than the women of Baywatch. That kind of thing. They're not trying to get there. This is not kind of you can tell even by the way they're just walking. They're you don't really want to be a part of this, but I gotta go and I gotta, I got your back and whatever. And
maybe they're stretching their legs because they don't get out in the field much. So it's their opportunity to get onto the field.
Get a little bit of blood flowing. I suppose that probably could happen. But I don't know. That's just kind of my eye roll thing for the day. I happened to see it on Sports Center or something the other day. And I'm like, okay, have your little fight, have your little thing. But why do they got to come from wait, just leave them out there. It's fine. We're not going to judge you for coming because really, I don't want you coming out there. You're going to end up using your $1 million right hand and breaking a finger.
Right, you don't want that.
2 months.
Maybe we just in baseball, we just ought to let them fight like they do in hockey. Just stand there and watch them for a few minutes and see if they actually hit each other or if they just pile onto the ground and lay on each other.
I did see a good one the other day, and I think it was a highlight from a couple of years ago that something happened and the pitcher had to retribute and looked like from the mannerisms from the pitcher, he didn't really want to hit the guy because he kind of was oh, dang it. But the guy obviously got pissed, threw the bat down, comes running out towards the pitcher. Pitcher happens to catch him right before he gets there. But with the camera coming from center field, you don't see the linebacker first baseman come across and just destroy this jamoke. Just smoked him.
I saw that. It was hilarious.
It was oh, well, that's done. So that was pretty good.
Was that wasn't this year? Because I thought it was this year.
No, maybe it was this year.
I was trying to figure out who it was, and I couldn't figure out who it was.
It was great. Though.
Yeah, I was that is freaking sweet.
It was, that was hilarious. But yeah, I think that, like I said, I don't have a problem with the fight. Whatever, I rolled dumb and in the end, you're playing baseball. It's kind of like when the basketball, I was complaining in a previous episode, one of our first episodes about basketball players, oh, I'm really tough. Now we're going to get in a fight. I'm no, you're playing basketball. Yes, it's physical.
They clear their benches too and come out and just kind of stand around.
It's so ridiculous. Yeah. It's just, and everybody's got such an attitude problem with, oh, I'm a bigger poser than you are. You're doing the exact same thing. Don't get pissed off at him because you're losing.
Right.
That's just dumb. But yeah, the baseball thing, whatever, have the fight. I agree with you. Maybe we do it hockey style. Nobody can leave benches or nobody can leave whatever they're doing. Just let the two or whatever hash it out. Or if the first baseman wants to come and murder some guy, whatever.
Let it rip. At least 2 minutes. Give us a 2-minute round.
Well, same as hockey. As soon as somebody has a clear advantage, they go to the ground. Well,
it's over.
Now we blow the whistle. Right. We tear them off there. But we just don't need the guys trotting in from center field or somewhere up the street.
Number 3,
the guys over at Quick Trip, that's, I don't know. It's just silly to me, more than anything. But
that could be a new parlay bet. If you bet on baseball games, which two players are going to fight today?
Oh, there you go. That could be interesting.
That's quite the parlay bet, though. Yeah, it doesn't happen too often.
Yeah,
so if you scored on that,
you'd
make
probably
some
be pretty good odds.
Yeah, you'd make some good money. Yeah,
that'd be pretty heavy odds on that one. But you never know. People are always in for something.
They are, especially the betting kind.
100%. So, what else you got, Shawn? Anything else at all?
No, that's about all I got. I did come across one other thing, though, that you might like.
Ooh,
since
it already sounds like I'm going to like it.
You are a firefighter.
Uh-huh.
You and your wife are firefighters. So the first idea...
It's not just the mustache.
No.
I actually went through the training and did the whole thing.
It serves a purpose. So the first idea of a fire escape, I read of this a couple weeks ago when I was patenting, fire escapes. Obviously they're important. They're important to Andy. 1766.
1766
was the first patent idea for a fire escape. Basically, It just consisted of a wicker basket attached to a pulley and a chain. That was the fire escape.
I mean, it could work.
So,
I mean,
yeah.
I'm not sure that I want to get into a wicker basket when stuff's on fire, but I suppose there wasn't a whole lot of brick and mortar going on.
Probably not back in 1766. It was probably all lumber, but I thought you'd think that's interesting since you're the firefighter,
Interesting. That is a
1766.
nice little trivia nugget right there.
No, that's really all I got. I'm going to take some more of this beer for ball games. Beer.
There we go. I like it. Well, we hope you enjoyed the broadcast today, and hope you enjoyed any of the episodes prior to this, and maybe some of them upcoming. But like, share, subscribe, tell everybody that you can.
Buy a hat.
Yep, buy a hat. Look at our merch that we have on the different social media platforms: Facebook, Twitter, X, Instagram, Rumble, YouTube, all of the things.
They're everywhere.
We're as what is it, Ben Maller on Fox Sports Radio? We're in the air everywhere.
Yes,
it's actually kind of annoying when he says that, but that's neither here nor there. We're way cooler than that. But we're kind of all over the place. So definitely try to help spread the word. We appreciate all of that, and go get yourself some Off Color Brewing and enjoy that. I definitely highly recommend this particular brew. It is quite good. Quite good.
Yeah, beer for ball games. Go get you some if it's available in your area. It's super good. Appreciate everybody listening, and cheers.
Cheers, and we'll talk to you again soon.